recognize Shaheen's deck. It really is. Like, it's so easy to call Esper control, and I feel like it is a control deck, but it's like a mid-range deck that leans towards control.
Exactly.
Take a look at our game state here. Harlan Fear with 4 lands to play, a Mantis Rider that is being targeted by Lightning Strike. That's resolving. Kevin Jones, number 2 on our Season 4 leaderboard, and likely headed to our Players' Championship unless something horrible happens. He's passing the turn back with 2 Flooded Strands up.
Yeah, and post-board, you see Harlan's deck becoming a lot more similar to Kevin Jones's deck. It looks a lot like a Jeskai Mirror. And I think this is where we'll get to see a card like Wingmate Rock from Kevin and see just how good it can be in this matchup.
Kevin's going to play a Seeker of the Way and pass the turn back. And you see he's at 9. Harlan's at 17. There's a copy of Raise the Alarm, so 2 Soldier tokens are going to come into play. And now, looks like we have a copy of Stoke the Flames. We'll see if it's going upstairs or downstairs towards a Seeker of the Way. Looks like it's just going upstairs, so Jones is down to 5. Fear drew a copy of Hordeling Outburst, and then he has a copy of Dig Through Time in his hand.
And this is where Kevin has really embraced a control role here. Looking into, if you look at Kevin's hand, you see he's even boarding the cards like End Hostilities.
Here's 3 Goblins, 2 Soldiers. Jones, you can see his hand. He's got a Magma Jet. He also has a copy of Dig Through Time. You mentioned the copy of End Hostilities. But his life total, he has to be so careful, right? He's at 5. He doesn't know the last card in Harlan's hand.
Right.
We know it's a dig, but if he's scared of a card like Stoke the Flames, well, don't want to go to 4. So
the heads-up play that Harlan needs to make here is he can't actually attack.
Okay.
If he attacks, Kevin's going to Magma Jet something, probably Harlan, and then block a token and gain life off the Magma Jet. Then either way, I think Kevin is forced into making End Hostilities here.
I like this play a lot by Kevin, which is I really can't beat burn spells at this point. I do know your deck list, so you don't have as many as a traditional Jeskai deck like the one I'm playing.
Yeah, and this is why, it's Harlan's deck. Yeah, it does have a combo in it. It does have Retraction, Helix, and Springleaf Drum, but it's playing a lot of cards that are not combo-oriented. It does have Stoke the Flames in the deck, just, as a good 4 damage burn spell.
4 Jeskai Charms, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's his composition look like after sideboard? Well, that's a good question. I mean, we see his graveyard. He's got a Jeskai Charm and a Stoke the Flames over in the graveyard there. Also, the Mantis Riders that are in his sideboard have come in. You mentioned how he's kind of shifted his deck to kind of mimic Kevin's, actually.
Well, if you know anything about the Jeskai Mirror, is that Mantis Rider is actually really good in the Jeskai Aggro Mirror. So it stands to reason that Harlan would want to bring in Mantis Riders in this matchup.
Jones is going to cast a Dig Through Time now, too. And looks like he has to take a point of damage to do that as well.
This is pretty scary. Kevin going to a really low number.
I mean, he's getting super aggressive, but once you make the decision, right, of I can't beat a 4 damage burn spell, and he doesn't have Lightning Strikes, it's like, well, what's the difference between 4 and 2, or 4 and 1, I suppose?
So here's the dangerous part. By going this low, Kevin has to cast the End Hostilities. And Harlan is going to get to resolve the Dig Through Time in his hand. And if one of those top 7 cards is a Stoke the Flames or a Jeskai Charm, there's 6 of those left in his deck, that will kill Kevin.
Yeah. It's a risk.
And Harlan's pretty odds-on to find one of them. He has about 45 cards in his deck, has 6 outs. The math on that lines up very well.
Assuming he left all 4 copies of each card.
Okay, you're right. And that's actually that is a relevant assumption here.
Now, I would assume, because I see the Mantis Rider in his deck, and there's a Swift Spear over there and a Hordeling Outburst, that he's probably on, as you mentioned, a similar plan to Kevin, which is, some creatures and then just burn you out from there. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't have 4 copies of each in his deck after sideboard. But again, we don't know for sure. Join the match in progress. Kevin looks like he's come to a decision with what he wants to do here with the Dig Through Time. Maybe. This is why I don't play this card. It's too hard.
If Harlan has 3 copies of each, he's, I believe, over 80% to find one of them on a Dig Through Time.
I'm seeing if there's something Kevin can do where he doesn't have to cast End Hostilities because he's at 2, so he could play Defense with Seeker again next turn and then cast a spell and gain some life. Because 2 of the cards he was looking at there are Negate, and Negate is, of course, clearly great against Harlan's last card, which is Dig Through Time, but Harlan, very smart, is casting Dig Through Time
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and even with negate, I don't think Kevin can hold it up. He has to cast end hostilities on his turn, unless he has some other sweeper. And he does have Anger of the Gods.
Okay, that's an option.
So he could have Anger of the Gods plus negate. It'll put him down to 1, but that does change it. Now Harlan would have to find 2 burn spells. And it looks like he found 0.
Yeah. So he's taking his 2 cards. He'll pass the turn back. Jeskai Ascendancy and raise the alarm of the cards he took. Jones will draw a card. Whirling Outburst is interesting.
Raise the Alarm's pretty scary here, especially when Kevin's at 2. Instant speed 1/1s do just fine for themselves.
Take 1, go up to 4.
One question is, can Kevin just Hordling Outburst and attack here?
I think the line that Kevin set up is exactly that, which is Hordling Outburst, go down to 1, leave up negate to counter whatever's problematic, and then you'll trigger Prowess for Seeker. It'll be a 3/3. Down to 1, up to 4, which is fine.
It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling great. I think that's the play he's going to make, though. So down to 1, trigger Prowess up to 4, 3 Goblin tokens come in. There's the attack. I think negate makes him pretty safe.
Well, as safe as he can be here. So he's gone up to 4. If the Harlan has 2 relevant spells, that will get Kevin.
Hordling Outburst to draw, along with Raise the Alarm and Jeskai Ascendancy. I think this one you got to counter. Yeah.
And Kevin agrees.
That card's way too good.
And this is great for Harlan because it means that Kevin doesn't have a negate for a possible Raise the Alarm.
I like the attack. Kevin's going to trade 3 for 3. He'll take 2 damage. He's down to 2.
But Kevin may pull away. He's going to get to lifelink that Seeker of the Way again, thanks to Magma Jet. See if he does it on upkeep here to fix his draw. Does
Nope.
not.
Another Hordling Outburst.
Yeah, that
We
would
get
be
to do
even
this again.
better.
Yeah.
This time, though, he has to do it without negate shields if that's what he wants to do. Certainly is scarier.
The other thing, too, that's really scary, and you mentioned it, was Raise the Alarm. Because, you know, what are the cards that Harlan took with the dig through time? Okay, Jeskai Ascendancy, I can see that being 1.
Yeah, and it's a good one. I mean, it's not the best thing that Harlan could be taking right now. You know, the burn spells would be the best one. Cards like Mantis Rider. So if Jeskai Ascendancy is what Harlan went for there, I like that if I'm Kevin. I think it means that the dig through time wasn't as good as it could have been.
This is such a tough spot for Jones. This is so hard.
Harlan also has copies of Monastery Swift Spear. They also have haste.
He's going to take 1. Looks like he's going to take the same path as last turn, which is Hordling Outburst, trigger Prowess, go to 1, go to 4. Hope it doesn't get too bad. Hope you don't draw a burn spell. And as we mentioned, he can't do anything about Jeskai Charm or Stoke the Flames. He has to just fade those draw steps. There's Raise the Alarm. So 2 soldiers are going to come in.
But right now, things look safe.
Ish.
As safe as they can be for Kevin.
Temple, okay.
That's great. That helps.
Here's the attack. Can't trade fast enough. He's left with 1. Jones is going to go down to 3.
And has Jones turned the corner? It's starting to look like it.
There's a temple.
And
Top card goes to the bottom, and now here are goblins.
yeah, more good news for Kevin. Harlan still hasn't found, Jeskai Charm.
And the top card went to the bottom, so the top card's a mystery.
Top card wasn't Jeskai Charm or something that just wins, or Mantis Rider or what have you.
It's 3 to 6.
I mean, Harlan's life total is getting very low here too.
Yeah.
You have to pay some respect to that part.
Harlan might be forced to, for example, just jump block this turn, right? It's probably too risky just to say Seeker of the Way is unblocked.
Lightning Strike would kill you.
Yeah, Stoke, Charm.
Kevin could swing for 2 and then just sweep the board. Because he's at 3, he's not dead to Raise the Alarm.
Looks like Kevin's going to jet on upkeep. Fix his draw.
Yeah, I mean, if he's committed to giving the Seeker of the Way lifelink, so his reasonable plays here are probably jet on upkeep or just swing and end hostilities.
There's Jet.
See if he goes at Harlan or at a creature.
So for Kevin, if he finds a red sorceress because he has Anger of the Gods, he can just win the game. 2 cards.
Yeah, if he can find a red source, he can Anger. Seeker will pump up Prowess up to a 4/4, and Harlan can go for the kill. It doesn't look like he found it, though.
Probably have to send both those cards to the bottom.
I would still like to take a shot at a red source if I'm Kevin.
The cards he's looking at are Seeker and Dig Through Time. I mean, I'm super greedy, so I want to just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin, there you that expression says it all. He could just keep Seeker. If he wants to play the conservative route, he could just put the Seeker of the Way on top. Then he can swing the Lifelink Seeker of the Way and play another Seeker of the Way. That's not bad. It'd put Harlan down to 1. It would give Kevin enough blockers to survive another turn. It's a good line, and I think maybe it's the line he's supposed to make here. As great as it would be to draw a red source.
Conservative, that's like a swear word. I don't like it. I want to put them both at the bottom and slam that red source into play. It'll probably be a temple, and I'll be really mad, but...
History favors the bold, you
Yeah.
know? Let's draw that red source and move on to the finals, right?
I guess it's worth looking to see how many untapped red sources he has in his deck. He has, let's see, he's got Battlefield Forge. He has 3 of those.
Well, I don't want to say the C word here, but Kevin went top bottom with his
He went
scribe.
conservative.
Not saying it.
But here's an attack. I mean, it's probably correct.
No, and I do like this line, actually.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he's got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in his graveyard, so he can still dig here if he wants to.
Well, he went top bottom, but I don't think it was in the way we expected. I'm not sure. I don't think he drew the Seeker of the Way.
No, he drew dig.
He drew the dig.
Yeah, that was his choice. And that gives him another prowess trigger if he wants
So
it.
if Harlan doesn't block, he's dead.
Yep. I just would be so surprised if Harlan didn't block here. I guess, the thought is I can't beat a burn spell anyway, probably, if you're Harlan. But that's not necessarily true because he can beat a card like Magma Jet or Lightning Strike. So, yeah, I like this play by Kevin.
Kevin's going to go to 2, and then he'll gain 4.
2 up to 4 is 6. He's still dead to a bunch of cards here, but...
Mantis, he's dead. This means he's dead to Mantis Rider now.
And those burn spells still.
And the burn spells.
Kevin looking at a bunch of cards. Oh, he's found some goodies. Jeez.
Harlan would do well to win this turn. If Kevin gets the untap, it would... Yeah.
We are not playing another turn if Kevin
You don't
gets
want to give
untapped.
Kevin another turn.
No, you don't.
He's drawing some good things.
Yeah, Kevin, his options there, you saw Lightning Strike and 2 Mantis Riders and a 6th land. Like, everything there is great.
It's interesting how Wingmate Rock has played out in this matchup, and by that I mean that it hasn't been played.
Yeah, he's never had the window to cast it.
Well, he's had the window, but it's never been the correct choice. You know, he's had 5 mana for a few turns, but still never had the opportunity to make want to make a Wingmate Rock.
Man, that's a tough choice with Dig. And the shields are down now, too, so now you're just sweating a top deck. Last time we saw this happen, the Siege Rhino came rolling off the top for Aaron Barrich against Brad Nelson. And I guess we had that other match, too, with all the top decks yesterday, the Boswell's match.
He's saying here wants to ensure that he has a win next turn. Looks like Glare of Heresy is one of the cards he's selected. Looking at some Mantis Riders, a Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike deals 3, not 4. It's not lethal, but it's still very good. It looks like he'll take it. He gave a lot of preference there for cheap cards.
What is this top card? Yeah.
Yeah, then it matters. And it's Stoke the Flames.
Everyone has gotten there this week, and it's insane. Harlan Fear with another top deck. That's what, our 4th or 5th one this weekend to win a match. Jeskai Token Combo is moving on to the finals to play against Shaheen Sarani.